Welcome to another league. Welcome you as well, Dennis Aksoy. We're gonna be playing another league with Amulet. We changed the list slightly from the previous video. Hell yeah, Rockman 000. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold. Thank you for sharing that Twitch Prime love. Really appreciate the continued support. From the previous list that you can actually watch in the description below, in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube. We took the Reclamation Sage that was in the main deck over the 4th Explorer. Now we're playing 4 Explorers. We moved the Sage to the sideboard, and I took out the second copy of Beast Within. We're only going to be trying one Beast Within and see how that feels. Is there a good video that you know of how to rent decks and get started on MTGO? Good question, Jeff Hat. I don't know that there's a good video out there, but you can probably go to Mana Traders is one of the websites. Card Hoarder is another one. I'm not sponsored by any of them, and I don't use them, so I don't know which one is better. I just own all the cards that I play with, so I can't really help you there. But I hear that they are decent if you want to, just play different decks and stuff. If you only want to play a single deck, like it's my case, like I mostly just play Amulet, and like I do have a pretty vast collection, but even still, I mostly just play Amulet. If you only want to play one single deck, then probably owning the cards is going to be cheaper in the long run. Yeah, well, there you go. Dennis, gotcha. I think this is a keep. We have some cantrips, and we have almost enough mana for a Titan, but we're very, very likely to find the mana that we're missing. We also have double blue in case we find a Tolaria West, so Tolaria West should actually be enough to give us either the land that we're looking for or a Titan. There was a breakdown on Reddit, and I think it basically the longer and more cards you want to rent, the better Mana Traders is. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Again, since once you own Amulet, you don't really need to own any decks. But Amulet has been giving me so much money that I just have cards because I just have the money to buy them. Because I just play Amulet and I win. We could be playing against a control deck. This is a bad once upon a time to have no info with. In the blind, I think that Cavern of Souls is overall probably the better card. We could have gotten Bodos Garrison. That was another consideration, but Steam Vents. Alright, happy with the fact that I got the Cavern. Start here. Second Asusa, that's not great. I'm gonna play Breeding Pool because if I find a Tolaria West, I think I'm actually going to spend next turn transmuting. Don't tell me we're against Toko Burn. That's funny. Yeah, that deck is kind of a meme. We're playing against Delver, which just doesn't flip in Modern, so... Alright, so we start here. We cast our Asus. Oh, actually made a mistake. I should have played the Sanctuary there. My bad. This on Giant. We don't really get punished because it doesn't really matter, but... Oh, I'm dropping frames. Alright, internet's gonna come back shortly. There we go. Boom. 1-2 blocks 3-2s all day. They get to do the scry trigger. A braid. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They don't want to draw the abrade. Okay, so they're probably looking for some piece of counter magic, I would imagine. That's a pretty quick clock, though. That is a pretty quick clock. Bolt my Asusa. You got it. Play it, Elver. Okay, so we should hopefully have enough to stabilize here. One. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can't Asusa and Titan, unfortunately. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, I can't. And I guess that it doesn't really matter. So I'd rather gain 4 life. So I'm at 17. Next turn I can pay for Pact, transmute explosives on 1. But I can't crack it. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Delver doesn't flip because this is the modern format. Delvers don't flip in modern. Okay, so they drew a fiery islet. What do you think of Walking Ballista versus Veloth in the sideboard? I don't think they are replacing each other. I think that they do very different things. My opponent says, okay, punt. And to be honest, I don't think it's gonna matter. Like, once we get to this stage of the game, like, my opponent, what my opponent does, it's pretty much irrelevant. Like, they just can't realistically beat a Resolve Primeval Titan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Field of the Dead, Simic Growth Chamber. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. So they take 6. Gain 2. Zombies. I'm just presenting lethal either way, and this way I'm playing around Blood Moon. So basically there's no reason for me not to do this. If I pack for a Titan, I guess I get to gain 2 more life. But my opponent at this point would need double bold, I guess triple bold plus the attack with Insectile Aberrations. So also the fact that they cycled probably means that they're not playing Cryptic Command, right? Unless they have another land. Because Cryptic Command is like one of the few ways that my opponent can still attempt to win this game. So I'm going to assume for game 2 that they don't have access to Cryptic. These are the cards that I want. I'm expecting Blood Moon, that's why I bring in the Rex Sage. That's it. I don't want Pact of Negation. How on earth did Delver flip without Ponder Brainstorm? Yeah, it's you don't see that every day, huh? Ghost Scorer can come out. I don't like Scouts. We can shave one Summoner's Pact. Not a fan of Amulet. And we can probably cut one land. Don't see Delver playing command. Yeah, I mean, it's not likely, but I mean, we've seen weirder things. I mean, my opponent's playing Delver to begin with, right? Like, that's not something that you see every day. So whenever I play against the Delver deck, you can basically expect anything because there's nothing that should be expected, basically. Hope that makes sense. Like, because there's no like standard way of building deck because it's not really a deck. Also, my opponent fetched for a basic on turn 1, so I am very, very sure that they have Blood Moon in their deck. We can beat Blood Moon as long as we're not facing a clock. It's not a clock. That is still not a clock. Also, they went bot on top, and now bot on top. So I guess the only thing I really care about countering here is a Blood Moon, and I can't do it, so I'm going to spend my turn to do this. I guess I should have played the Gruul Turf because it allows me to play around Blood Moon. My opponent drew all 4 Serum Visions, and 3 of them are mismatching. Disgusting. They went bottom there. Another explosives, nice. I think I have to play out the Sunhome because this allows me to attempt to dispute the Bloodman. Is that a game loss from mismatch cards? Can you imagine if that were a thing? That would be great. Alright, what is this? Draw step, Vendilion Click. And that's probably enough for me to Mystical Dispute. Dispel. Here's my hand, opponent. Matching cards is thought proof, exactly. It's almost strictly correct unless you're testing and you want to see how a card looks in place of another card. So you want to make sure like how that feels, so you know which one you draw the card that would be something else. It's basically strictly correct to always have matching cards, right? Is that how that works? Okay, so we draw an Azusa. Play this. Bounce. Play this. Bounce. Play this. My opponent has perfect info, so I'm not hiding anything. If they do have Blood Moon, we are in trouble, but there's also nothing that we can do about it anyway, so. Dispel versus Amulet. I actually don't think that Dispel is a bad card against Amulet, especially if you're expecting to like be if you need to stop the chain, right? Dispel is a way to stop the Titan chain, which some decks really struggle to beat, like Blue White Control and whatnot. Field of Ruin in the Delver deck. Field of Ruin in the Delver deck. Mind has officially been blown. Dragon Breath, I think I'm going to be playing 3 leagues today. I'm going to... Oliver D with the tier 1 sub. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold. Really appreciate the continued support. 9 months already. Thank you so much. Um, this is the second league. This is the first match of the second league, actually. And Pog. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I can't explosives for 3 and also Titan, so I'm just gonna Titan. Did they combine the friendly and competitive Blix? Yes, they did a while ago now. Play this. Play this. Serve with Azusa. Like, I don't think it's very likely for my opponent to be able to raise this. Go back to those beautiful 4 gems and 4 steerings, you will be sold. Rejection issue gay with Amulet. I think people forgot it hits more than Amulet. No, I think the rejection is bad against Amulet. Especially out of most decks that would play Ceremonious Rejection. Like, Rejection would be a fine deck out of, like, Mardu Pyromancer. Or if... maybe from Shadow. Like, you need rejection is only good when it counters Amulet and when explosives is a very relevant card in specific matchups or like stuff like that. But if you're bringing in rejection just because of Amulet, then you're doing it very wrong. The Gravitated competitives in the friendly leagues was comparable to the comp ones. I disagree wholeheartedly. I don't think that they were even remotely similar. I think the comp leagues were way harder than the friendly leagues. I remember that Jeff Hoogland used to say the same thing, and I'm like, that's just not true. Huh. So I have basics to play around Blood Moon. I have 2 Field of the Deads now. I have no idea how my opponent wins this one. As long as I don't throw the game away in absurd fashion, I think we have this. OP down 1. Oh, they're gonna double bolt the Titan. Double bolt the Titan after I've gotten my attack trigger? Questionable. Didn't experience it myself. Yeah, I don't think it's particularly close. I think that comp leagues were significantly harder. The thing is that, Jeff usually plays like meme decks and stuff. So for him it was way better EV to play in friendly leagues. So I really understand why Jeff used to play in the friendly leagues, because like Jeff's chat would donate like millions of dollars to him for him to play like stupid decks, and like he is way, first of all, it's cheaper to join friendly leagues and than it is to join competitive leagues, and second of all, um, the it's like easier to like somehow cash those leagues even with meme decks. So like it made a lot of sense for Jeff to play in comp leagues, obviously, in friendly leagues. Sorry, but saying that friendly leagues are as competitive leagues is just a lie. It's just not true. Well, my opponent better have a heck of a ton of cryptic commands over there. Manamorphose into Settle the Wreckage. That's my opponent's out. Echoing Truth. Well, I was certainly not playing around Echoing Truth. Like, this is a card that should not be in my opponent's deck. If you guys wanted to see a card that should not be in my opponent's deck, that's the one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm holding this back because I might want to like pack for Rex Sage or whatever. Again, extremely unlikely for us to lose this game. I guess you never know. It was also extremely unlucky for my opponent to have Echoing Truth in their deck, but here we are. Like, after we reach this point of the game, like, it just doesn't matter, right? Like, my opponent can buy a turn. Like, they can do the same thing next turn, where they just like Snapcaster Echoing Truth my zombies, and it's just like, what are they achieving? They're swinging in for 3, and then I go ahead and I gain 4 more life. It's just like it's not it's not a very good exchange for them. I think we're looking pretty good. Yeah. GG's opponents. GG's. So yeah, like it's just a matter of that's not the fight that you want to fight, right? That is the issue with the Echoing Truth. If we get to a point where I'm making zombies, Echoing Truth is not gonna save you. So at that point, you might as well just like keep your Delvers in, which honestly maybe my opponent sideboarded out, and that's why they struggle to find a threat. All right, give me an untapped green source for turn 1. Professional. Like a professional. Playing against Helveti. I think I'm pretty sure this is the person that I took the original green-white field deck that I streamed yesterday. I think this person was the one playing it. I don't think I want to Once Upon yet. I can wait until I have more information. And also, I still don't know whether the damage is going to be relevant or not. Seems like it might not be relevant. Explore. Sure, that's a fine draw. just gonna cast Once Upon a Time now. If my opponent wants to counter this, that's fine. It kind of sucks a little bit, but it's also just fine. Looks like they are gonna counter it. Double Snow-Covered Island. Mana Leak. You got it. Interesting that they went island into island. Oh, they already have a plains. Okay. So we're playing against some kind of blue-white control deck. Play a Susa. It's an iceberg. That's fair. I mean, we don't know the size of it, right? So maybe if it's like small, it can be considered a snow-covered island. I'm going to Once Upon my opponent's end step now. No need for me to play out this Vesuva. There's an Astrolabe, you got it. Uh-oh. Once Upon. Prime time. For 2 mana. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so if I flash this in end step, this allows me to play around another Mana Leak. So unless my opponent is playing main deck Disdainful Stroke, which is pretty unlikely, this prime time should resolve. Deprive could also be a consideration, I guess, which I didn't think of. And we're gonna get Field of the Dead and Celestius. I guess I can get Solari West. Holding this in hand. In case we draw. Oh, here comes a Quaddle. It trades with something. It doesn't matter. Why not Slayers and Bounce? Because my opponent can path my Titan. And if my opponent paths my Titan, then that's a problem. Yeah, the Titan could have been hasted, yeah. They have a Wrath here. They do have a Wrath. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so Force of Negation or Bust. They do have it, I think. Yeah, they do have it. Yep. Main deck Dispute. Interesting. So this is an Oko. Okay, this is potentially problematic here. Do we always play around that against white mana? Probably it's correct too, yeah. China Pulse Cycle, heck yeah. I guess they are actually pretty sweet. I've been enjoying the new challenge channel points. Field of Ruin is kind of a beating there. If they go after my field, yeah, I think I'm gonna go squatter my own land. Just to effectively destroy one of their lands. Like this, it's not doing anything better, right? And Explorer, Pog. You have another force? No, you don't. I filled it up. So we're gonna do field and a bounce land this time around. And I'm gonna bounce the Vesuva and I'm gonna replay it as another field. So we can play around another Field of Ruin. Do you attack my opponent here? Or do I just wait? If I attack Oko now, it goes down to 3. Next turn they plus on my Titan, that's 5. I think I'm not gonna attack. Okay, so I assume they have a way to kill my Titan here, like draw step path or something. Cryptic tap and draw. Sure. That's so risky of my opponent. What if I had Pact of Negation and they just die, right? To not plus on my prime time seems super greedy. Have I seen the new elemental creature? No, Ugo. You can put a link in chat if you want. Next Monday are modern bannings. So they said that they are not going to announce bannings anymore. So like I guess that we just never know basically. Like they might ban any time. They did say that the banning announcements there would be banning announcements this week. That's the only thing that they said. Not this week, this month. But they didn't say when, and they didn't say what they were going to cover. So my opponent has another cryptic. So if we draw a Pact of Negation, we kind of win. But I'm never lucky. Never lucky. So we can. This is 16. Opponent blocks. They take. I mean, I think I need to clear the Oko. So I think I'm gonna throw everything at Oko. Just stack with everything. Like it doesn't make sense really to like split them and stuff. Because they're gonna take their flip blocks here, which is fine. Should I have played a Susa there is the question. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Alright. Nyx Bloom Ancient. For 7 mana, trample. If you tap a permanent for mana, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead. That's like the Commander Rest card I've ever seen, basically. So if I swing... Let's start here and see what happens. So I can transmute for a bounce land here. And start producing ridiculous amount of zombies. I could also get Sunhome or Stronghold. This means that I can attack into my opponent's stuff. Or I can go get Pact. I actually don't think I like getting Pact. I think I'm going to get a bounce land. They're going to pass the Azusa here, which is fine. But this way we play around counter magic very effectively. We swing for 5-10. But if the event on next turn, you can transmit for packs and play 3-4 Titans. Yeah, like, but what's the point, right? Like, if you resolve a 7 mana dude, like, why have you not won the game yet, right? So I'm putting here my opponent in a situation where they need to... Now they need to start chaining cryptics. Also, they have a Windswept fee, so they can't find Mystic Sanctuary. Good for me. Wee, zombies. That's a Teferi. So they're going to be able to Cryptic here. And then I'm going to be able to Explosives for 5. Wait, do they have Settle Wreckage? They don't. Cool. This is the second league Bant Blood Moon, but I'm going to be playing 3 today. I'm going to take like a little bit of a break in the middle with... I'm going to go ahead and get some food. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing 3 leagues today since it's gonna be like the last stream. Huh, so I guess my opponent does have Colonnade. So I guess I can shave on castles. One explores. Gonna have trackers. Scout is great. Susa is decent too. We want explosives because of Ashiok. Do you like the one Rex H again? The main deck? I feel like it isn't that good. So Eternal 88, it's because we are literally just cold to Karn the Great Creator minus Inference and Bridge. Like we just literally cannot beat that without a Rex Age in the main deck. So that's the reason why I play it. But I'm not playing it this league. I'm just hoping it's. I'm just winging it. Pact of Negation, I think, has become a lot worse since the printing um, of the Fairy Time Raveler. I still think I'm gonna be playing it here, but I mean, I would not be surprised if we find ourselves in situations where it's just terrible. Sounds great. Great hand is great. Mystical Dispute, Pog. Cavern of Souls, Pog. So I'm gonna be playing Scout on 1. Then I'm gonna play Cavern on Human. Cavern on Giant, sorry. And then I'm gonna hold up Dispute plus Scout activation. I can even play the Amulet if I want to. Oh yeah. Wait, is my opponent gonna path me? They can't path me. Path me, Amidala. Star Wars reference. Get it? Get it? So the most important thing is going to be for me to hold up this dispute this turn. Like, if my opponent counters this amulet, I don't really care that much, honestly. Yeah, they can Mana Leak this amulet. The most important thing is for me to make sure that Ashiok doesn't resolve. That's priority number 1. Everything else kind of doesn't really matter. We still have Titan mana. Just pass the turn. Hey Scott, how's it going? Hey Will, how's it going? Welcome everybody to the stream. Having a good stream today. What is this? Vendilion Click? Oh, yeah, that card's fine. I don't really care about that one. I don't really care about that one either. Damping Sphere. I guess we don't care about that one. Damn it. Hey, resolved. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so end step, we're just gonna copy my opponent's breeding pool here. Then we'll untap and play Titan. That's certainly a mistake on my opponent's side, and I'll take it. So we're gonna do Field of the Dead plus Bounce Land here, I think. Let the zombie apocalypse begin. And the fact that my opponent path my Titan allows me to now get zombies and allows me to bounce the Vesuva, so I can do more. I can do different things if I want to. So it's good. Play Ghost Quarter. And we're probably going to be tech edging my opponent's breeding pool. Pog. That's a great draw. That's a really, really good draw. Now thanks to us, we're gonna be able to play like a million lands a turn. Get in there with the Sunballs. Yeah, we just pass the turn. Actually, do I care more about the breeding pool or do I care more about the Hallowed Fountain? I think I actually care more about the Hallowed Fountain. Got him. Because now they can't Wrath. Like, they can play Anoko. Anoko just doesn't do anything. Sweet. Was there a better plan? Yeah, after the Titan resolves. After the Titan trigger resolves. You always want to give your opponent the least amount of information for when they are resolving their Titan trigger, because like depending on whether I was probably gonna play around path in any case, right? But you want to give your opponent the least amount of information possible, so that when they are tutoring for the lands for with the Titan, they don't know what they have to play around, right? Once you put the path on the table, you just allow me to basically make the best decision possible, because I have perfect information about what's going on, right? I know that my Titan is getting path, and I know that I need to get zombies. And actually, path, as you saw right there, pathing the Titan because I had a Vesuva in play allowed me to still get zombies while allowing me to return the Vesuva back to my hand. So yeah, there were like multiple reasons why it was very beneficial for us that our opponent pathed in our in response to the Titan trigger. Also, one thing that I noticed is that I don't have any following notifications anymore. Follows. Oh, that's why. Oh, okay. Sorry for everybody who followed that I didn't see. I basically just realized that. Well, I didn't have the notifications live. This hand is solid. That was not a good draw though. We're probably playing against control. Doom Switch is a very popular Moto grinder that mostly plays control. So I'm expecting to be playing against some kind of like Bant control deck of sorts. Yep, there we go. Huh, they forced the amulet. Interesting. Okay. Well, we can Titan next turn, so hopefully your opponent will tap out. My pride time got Cryptic Command. Do we want to jam here? I think we take it easy. Like, my opponent eventually will have to tap out. And now we have Toleria West, so we can find Cavern. Alright, so I guess they're tapping out for something. Yep, that's a Jace the Mind Sculptor. They brainstorm. Can we get value here? So we're gonna get double field. And this attack is actually somewhat relevant because my opponent will need to... Like, they kind of have to wrath me here, right? At this point. And now the Jace is at 2, so my opponent, any zombie that gets through will kill the Jace. Just Cavern field. Well, we can Cavern next turn, right? Like, I can just transmute this T-West for a Cavern. So getting more zombies to make sure I clear this Jace. I basically have to answer my opponent's Planeswalkers. Like, this is always priority number 1. You want to make sure that if your opponent taps out for a Planeswalker, you can punish them for doing so, right? Like, that's priority number 1, to answer their Planeswalkers. So we're probably getting Cryptic tapped here. Now the question is, do I resolve another Cryptic? Or do I resolve another Titan here? So we're going to transmit for Pact of Negation. The question is, do I want to play another Titan? I think I don't. I think I just transmute for Pact, because this already forces a verdict from my opponent, right? Otherwise they just die. So next turn I can play a Titan. I cannot make it hasty, unfortunately, but it's fine. Yeah, I guess I didn't even notice. Like, the mono foils are so ugly that I didn't even notice that all of my opponent's cards were foils. That's hilarious. Yeah, they have to wrath here. They don't have any alternative there. So now we're free to resolve our Titan again. One, two, three, four. Unfortunately, we can't haste here. But fear not that we are pretty far ahead. We're gonna bog them, so we don't care about Snapcaster Mage. We have like a bazillion tokens. And we're looking alright here, I want to say. Play against Doom Switch. Yeah. Yeah, we're facing Doom Switch over there. Yeah, my opponent has had a Jace active for 4 turns now. Yeah, 4 turns, because they tapped out on turn 4 for it. But I still feel ahead. This is what's keeping them in the game, though. I don't feel like I'm like super far ahead. Like my opponent still has a shot here. My opponent definitely has a shot here. Especially if they have Force of Negation for my Pact. To Laria West, sure. So we gotta clean up. Opponent discards to hand size. Discard a Path. Which makes sense, honestly. Okay. Go to combat. Snapcaster? Sure. This is actually perfectly fine for us because the Titan is not really winning the game. Are the zombies who are winning the game. So that means that I get to clear the Jace now. Which is, again, like the only reason why my opponent is still in this game. So now I'm going to attack Jace 2, 3 with 4. My opponent could have a Quaddle. So they block here, they block Quaddle, and if they have double path. So I guess I'm going to attack with 1 more, and then I'm going to attack them. So 5 at the Jace. Again, if I clear the Jace, I think that we're going to be a little bit too far ahead for my opponent to be able to catch it. You got a Quaddle. Do you think it would have been correct to go squatter your own line after the Wrath to kill with Jace with zombies? No, I don't think so. Because now my opponent has Field of Ruin, right? We can use that to... So Jace down. I think I transmit for a Titan here. And I think I cast it, actually. Force of Negation, Pitch, Mana Leak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can pack this, and I'm going to have to pay for 2 packs, but that's more than fine. I'm out of Tularia Wests. Yeah, I guess I do pack this. So prime time, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Gonna get the Vesuva to copy field and a blue source. So I guess Simic. Let's get Burning Pool. Now I'm gonna pay 2. Nothing that my opponent has over there matters, so we're just gonna do this, make more zombies because it's free. And then unless they're playing main deck Damping Sphere, even if they're playing main deck Damping Sphere, we're fine. They path their own Quaddle. Okay. How's it with the bad version of Blue Ring Field? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, we can haste zombies too if we want to. So here comes a Wrath. Oh no, that's no Wrath. Guess my opponent's looking for a Wrath. They can see it. It's funny that even if they get a Wrath, I can go squatter my land, get a basic forest, and I can haste the zombie after Cryptic resolves to clear the Jace. So we're doing pretty well there, right there. Get this, put this, and this. Shave a couple of these, take out all the castles. Shave a couple of explorers and one amulet. This is what we did last previous match. This is the end boss of blue-white control players, so if we can get this one, then I'm going to feel pretty good about our control matchup. Is Radiant Fountain worse than Castle? No, Andrea. But I think that post Cyber games, our opponent will try to tempo us way more often. So cards like Spell Queller, Vendilion Click, evasive threats that our opponent can deploy early in the game and then just protect in order to clock us can be very relevant. And having a way to gain life if our opponent is going for that game plan can be super important. This hand is very good, except for the fact that we have two basics in our hand. Like, this is really bad for us. I think I'm gonna keep it anyway, but this is just so bad. Oh, I didn't bring an excavator. Yeah, that was a misclick. I definitely wanted to bring an excavator. For sure. Draw. Okay, so we're gonna get Vestuva here because my intention is to copy like my opponent's blue source next turn. They did play Temple Garden on one, which is probably like literally their only source. Yep, that doesn't tap for blue. That's pretty brutal for us because now they're gonna be able to resolve Ashiok. I really would have wanted to copy that. I mean, we're probably going to be able to bis within the Ashiok, which is okay, but oh, Teferi Time Raveler. Okay. So resolve Asusa. Play this on Giant. Play Amulet. Play this on Giant to play around my opponent's onboard Field of Ruin. Mystical Dispute doesn't do anything anyway, so. Second field is kind of annoying there. We really need to draw a land here. Huh, interesting. Land? Any land, please? Oh, any land. That's not a land. All right. Unfortunately, I don't think that Teferi is good enough for us to be within. I think my opponent is going to present more problematic planeswalkers down the line. This is just so bad for us. We're out of basics. That's brutal. That's so brutal. Now we need to draw a bounce land. God damn it. So I guess we'd be within now because it turns on our Mystical Dispute. That's fine. That goes to the bottom. That's perfectly okay, actually. Now that is a problem. Shit. God God. Ah. Too late, Bojugabog. Too freaking late. Yeah, that's a problem. I'm certainly very surprised that my opponent is blessing the Ashiok. Please let this resolve. Please let this. God damn it! No. Ah. Oh, this is so brutal. All because we didn't draw a land in our 28 land deck. Ugh. We're fine until that missed land drop and the Sashio coming down. If we hadn't missed a land drop, if my opponent had not had an Ashio come down, or if I didn't have to use my 3 mana card on this Teferi, if any of those things hadn't happened, we would be in a great spot. They just continue plussing. That's so weird to me. They got one of my fields, one stronghold. I guess they got some trackers. Yeah, I assume that this means that they have another one. This seems to be a losing proposition right here, unfortunately for us. But I'm gonna keep fighting for a little bit. Yeah, so here probably comes the second Ashok. Yeah, so that is like the only real explanation for them plussing so aggressively, and they can actually get away with this because they have the Fairy Time Raveler in play. It's awkward to want engineered explosives against the control deck, but I think like Ashiok is so important in the matchup that it's necessary for us to have access to that. This hand is actually much better than the one that we had last game. Astrolabe. Titan would be a great draw. Scout number 2. Huh. I'm gonna play decent giant. And then I'm gonna play Asusa, see what my opponent does. She resolves. I think I'm just gonna wait. It's a good one to copy with the Suva. Something good? Titan, maybe? Wait, what? I mean, I'll take it. Hmm. Hmm. So I guess we actually need to play out the bulk here, because that's Titan mana for next turn. But I think it's very important for us to have blue source because of explosives that we might need to play on 3. Oh, it doesn't have Death Touch. Good catch. I totally missed that. Yeah, we should definitely attack then. Should have certainly attacked. I always just assumed that this card just had always Death Touch. Because I didn't want to trade, and I assumed that my opponent had Death Touch when they didn't. So it was just a mistake on my part. That's 3 fairy. We will load it up right now. Yeah, I think so. So we just need to draw a Titan at some point here. Or Force Scout, sure. I think that representing Bounce Land is going to be more valuable than this 1 point of damage. Critic Bounce your Astrolabe. Okay, my opponent's kind of desperate over there. That's a really big sign of weakness. The problem is we can't punish them because we're just not drawing Titans. Give me a Titan, please. Titan. Damn it. Oh. Copy Mystic Sanctuary. Yeah, that's the line clearly. What mode is this? We can deny my opponent a cryptic here. I kind of want my opponent to have cryptics in hand. I guess that... No, I guess it's just good value to deny them a cryptic. I just got 32. Wow, how often does that happen? Depends on what turn you got 32. Turn 2? It doesn't happen really often. It's like once every... I don't even know how many... Don't even know how much to say. Once every, like... I would say like below 10%. Certainly below 10%. Just getting owned by these Quaddles. Sure. Opponent left a card on top. So we're gonna do some tricks here. First of all, gonna end step Biz within the Jace. Just gonna force something from my opponent to mana leak. Okay. We're gonna do this. Gonna bounce here. And I think we're gonna pact right now. It plays around. It plays around Force of Negation very effectively. Now we pay for our pact. Yes. And next turn we're gonna be able to cast the Titan, unless my opponent has a... Unless my opponent has what's his name? Vendilion Click. I'm gonna bog my opponent here. If they have a second Sanctuary, they can make sure that they draw a Cryptic. That's probably alright. Cryptic doesn't stop my Titan. So I know about a Cryptic from them. Two, three, four, five, six. Counterable Titan. That's so gross! That is so gross! Wow! Yep, this is a card. I guess I did see it in game 2, but I did not consider the fact that it could actually counter my Titan. Well, that's brutal. Alright, so I'm gonna put it on top because it forces... It forces my opponent to Jace. My opponent drew all 4 Quaddles. Yes, they did. It forces my opponent to Jace Plus, basically. Oh, they have Field of Ruin? I guess if they have Field of Ruin, they can just make me shuffle. They don't, though. Wait, they have another one? They have to have another one. Because they knew about the Bojuku Bog. They have to have another Bojuku Bog here. Otherwise, that's kind of a big punt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could be playing 4 color snow. We would probably be doing worse against this deck with 4 color snow, right? Well, maybe red and 6 is actually kind of a big deal against this deck. Just being able to clear all the Quaddles and stuff. So if my opponent doesn't destroy the field this turn, I can copy it with Vesuva. Man, this game has been something. I totally did not see that Aether Gust come in. So now they can instant speed Wrath, I guess? Ashiok is brutal. It's so interesting to me that they continuously plus. I definitely want to do this before they get a chance to feel the Ruin, obviously. So they're gonna Wrath here. Which sucks. I guess they can bounce the field with a Cryptic. Yeah, and then I can't replay it as a field anymore. Oof. All the kids are coming out to play, huh? Yeah, that Aether Gust was really big game for my opponent. At this point, I don't think we can win anymore. And I know they have a Cryptic in hand. It's so interesting to me that they continuously plus with the Ashiok. You can say minus with the Ashiok, sorry. I don't think it's a good line. Maybe it is in this matchup specifically. I think in general, just minus in Ashiok it's a bad move. But I don't know. I think my opponent is very, very experienced playing Blue Eye / Bant, so maybe they measure that they consider that playing Ashiok is just that minus in Ashiok is just good enough value, I guess. I don't think we can win more. Both fields have been exiled. And we can't even cast this card. Okay. I'm just gonna concede here. That was a very interesting match. It all came down to that game too, where we missed that land drop twice. We have two chances where if we miss that land drop, we just basically get super far ahead, and then we just couldn't capitalize on it. And then just game three, we just took forever to draw a Titan. My point is, minus naturally assume they have second or intend to cryptic bounce the first one. Yes, but cryptic bouncing, it can be pretty problematic if you are careless. Like my opponent was fine there because they had a 3 mana to fairy, right? But if you allow me to search my deck, and in response to you playing the Ashiok, when it dies or when you bounce it, and I just go ahead and I fetch for a tireless tracker, for example, or something like that, like an actual threat that you need to answer. If you don't have much else going on, it might be very problematic. This hand is kind of a sketcher. I'm gonna keep it for science, but it could be anything. Could be literally anything. All right, we're looking for a forest. I was gonna say. We did bottom a Titan, which hurts, but that's okay. I think we explore here. We want to have more information before we make any decisions. Are we playing against Bant control again? Are you kidding me? Remand. Alright. Yeah, okay, sounds good. We'll play both games both. Yeah, like, it was pretty sweet match. Dispute keeps underperforming for me. I don't know about you. Many spells I can cast it and opponent plays around it. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's kind of a necessity, right? Like, it's a necessary evil more than anything else. Sure. They Tef here. I do this in response, bouncing a forest. Hopefully I draw land here. I don't. That's still Titan mana though, so that's cool. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play both Azusa and Scout. Puts two bodies in play. Theoretically it's enough damage to clear this Teferi. If my opponent somehow taps out for something or whatever, then we can Titan them. Yeah, I think Doom Switch is definitely high up there in terms of control players. Are you okay with this mana base? It's been fine. I've liked it. I haven't had too many issues with casting my spells. Ha! Huh. Noble Hierarch. Alright. First things first. My opponent needs to do something if they want to... Yep, they're gonna throw a Snappy under the bus. This is a good exchange for us. This is definitely a great exchange for us. Yep, you got it. I mean, you'd better have something here, opponent, otherwise you're in a lot of trouble. Force or bust? No force. Opponent's also tapped out, no need to play our own remand or any of that nonsense. Just resolve or prime time and do our thing. Teleria Garrison. And I guess we're gonna put Bordos Garrison in hand. Actually, we have double blue. I'm going to put Tulare West in hand. Yeah, I guess that my opponent must be on Stoneblade instead of Blue-White Control, because otherwise they would not be playing Noble Hierarch, nor Remand. Even Remand is super weird out of Stoneblade. Like, what the hell? One, two, three, four, five, six. You have a Wrath OP? No Wrath. Okay, yeah, this is looking very good for us. They do bounce Prime Time, but it doesn't hurt us that much. And we're going to be able to clear the Teferi unless my opponent chumps and answers both zombies. So I certainly am looking. I'm digging my position a lot. I think we're pretty far ahead. Boom, boom, whip, boom, boom. There we go. Once upon a time. All right, let's start here. Taktef, Taktef. Transmit for Cavern. We can transmit for Cavern. We can actually just once upon a time and explore a bunch. I think that's what I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna lead on once upon a time first. Well, that's actually too good to pass up. Unfortunate that it's just too good to pass up, and we can just pass up on a prime time there. So 1, 2, 3 Cavern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're fine. We're gonna be able to play Uncounterable prime time next turn. We should be alright. You're always under the verdict risk. Yeah, but we are not really under a lot of risk here, right? Because any verdict is just sorcery speed. Like, we don't really care. And if they wrath me, I just rebuild in like a turn. I just rebuild in 3 seconds and my opponent's under the gun again. I mean, my opponent's way to stay ahead here is through the use of planeswalkers. These creatures are not gonna help them get there, right? So as long as my opponent does not have an active planeswalker, which is what happened in the matchup against Doomswitch, right? Like my opponent just got a planeswalker going both games. Like both games that they won, it's because I was not able to clear their planeswalkers immediately after they cast them. Some of the lists do play Settle though, just a side note. Yeah, that's fine. Like same thing. Like Settle doesn't really do anything. All of those cards that are normally good against creatures going wide, they just don't really do anything against field. I mean, they kind of like time walk you, right? Like they gain your opponent 1 turn. That's all they really do. They shock. Well, that is surprising for sure. Nightpack Ambusher. Damn, my opponent's really going deep over there. Whoo! I mean, I was certainly not expecting that, so they got me there. I was certainly not expecting standard all-star Nightpack Ambusher to be played in Modern. I don't know if I should be amazed by this. I don't know if I should simply be confused. Simply confused seems to be the winner for now. Because I am very much confused. Sure, I mean, whatever. Modern's a great format because you get to play whatever the hell you want, right? I do have to be careful, though. I do have to be careful, though, because they might, like, generate enough of a board state where they can have lethal in just a single swing. And then they can just, like, cryptic tap my team. And then present a lethal attack. Okay. Let me think. So we're gonna do this. Holding up red mana. And we're gonna get Stronghold Tolaria West. Then I'm going to activate Scout. It's actually very important for me to activate Scout instead of playing my land for turn, because my opponent's probably gonna need to cryptic tap here to not die. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna float mana here. We're going to let the Borders Garrison on tap. Then we're gonna bounce Tolaria West. Then we're going to haste the new Titan. Oh, I forgot to float the blue mana. That was so silly. I actually punted there. Like this, I stacked my triggers wrong. Eesh. I was thinking of using the 2 mana from the Tolaria West to transmute itself, and then I just didn't do that. Well, add that one to the pound count. Let's throw the cryptic tap here. Or not. Huh. Well. So I guess OP is just dead? They could have settled. I get so much value though. We can also instant speed zombies thanks to this. Sunhome and Vesuva. Okay, so this, then this, then this, then this. Okay, so float and tap zombies, then double strike. Then untap here. I guess I do want Ghost Quarter untapped, I do want this untapped, and I also want this untapped. So I guess the one that least I need the least is Ghost Quarter. We can once upon a time right here. Radiant Fountain. I guess Rod Farm would have been better. My bad. So they do have the settle here. That's fine, actually. Because I still have no idea how my opponent wins this game. We just simply continue to play. Play Stacy. We can haste this Stacy in order to flash in a land too, which is kind of sweet. And I don't even need to go get another Titan because we already have enough. So I'm simply going to transmit for a Pact of Negation here. There we go. Puntcan now at -2. I'm not that good. I'm alright. Okay, that cycle is good for us. Oh, so many Bant decks. Just playing against all the Bant decks that take forever to win. And they take forever to lose as well. Alright, so similar plan to the one that we were working with earlier. Do we want to play around Stoneforge? Yeah, this is Mac Savelli. First of all, welcome to the stream. And second of all, this is a different format. This is not Arena. This is Magic Online. You can actually play different formats here. I don't know if you're familiar with like Modern, Pioneer, all the other formats that you can play in Magic. And right now we're playing Modern. That's why you're seeing a bunch of non-standard legal cards, like the best card ever printed in the history of the game right here. Yeah, so that's what we're playing. That's what we're playing this game instead of Arena. It's because you can't really play Modern in Arena. So if you want to play this format, which is my favorite format, the only way to do it is using Magic Online. So I think I want to play around Spell Queller for sure. So that's why I'm setting out some pacts. I guess we go with something like this, similar to what we did against Blue White, except again, I didn't see Stoneforge Mystic, so I'm not bringing in Rex Sage. But if I see Stoneforge Game 2, I'm certainly going to be bringing in Sage. Oh yeah, Prime Time's the best. Sounds great. I'm going to keep it. We have a tracker to put pressure earlier and start gaining card advantage. We have Scout that we can play early and start getting ahead on land drops. We have Once Upon a Time to cantrip into our good cards. Now we have a Prime Time too. Looking for exactly this. Play Scout, and we're going to pass the turn. Legacy is your favorite? Yeah, Legacy is very good. Since the banning of Ren, Legacy has been so much better. It's crazy. Is my Scout getting passed? I'd be into that. Unsummon! My opponent is playing Unsummon. Yeah, I am extremely confused. I don't know if my opponent is not aware that Vapor Snag is a card, or because considering their build of the deck that they're playing, they probably want to be dealing me damage, right? Do you guys still play with people in person, or do you guys mostly play online? I have cards with nobody to play with in person. Yeah, so Mac, that's what LGSs are for, local game stores. You can go to your local game store and you can, you can play some games with some people that go over there to play some Magic as well. So certainly very much recommended. I do enjoy a lot going to local game stores. There's something very cool about the about playing paper Magic, that it's just not replaced by playing online, Yeah. So all of this that my opponent is doing, it doesn't matter because they're not pressuring me. If they were pressuring me, it could matter, but since they're not, it doesn't. So just gonna keep on doing what we're doing here. Actually, I made a mistake there because I could have played Azusa right there, right? I just cast Azusa, then play Bounce Land, then replay Gemstone, and I can next turn just hardcast Titan. Yeah, actually, I made a punt there. That was certainly a mistake. Punt count to -1 now. That's another prime time. How do we do this now? I definitely want to be holding up Mystical Dispute. So I think we just do nothing here. Just play this on Giant and just pass the turn. Do you believe Oko will be banned on next BNR? Probably. I think it's very, very likely, honestly. Yeah, we could have tied on this turn. That was a pretty bad mistake on my part. My opponent does not have Cryptic mana, I just noticed. So we're probably going to be just fine here. Well, now they do. Erase that. So we're going to play this one on a human, I think. No, that one is the one that we want to use. Green. Prime time. We already have another Titan in hand, so I think I'm going to go for max mana here. So I'm going to get 2 bounce lands. We can't, unless we tap out, we can't really get tokens. So we're going to reset here, and we're going to bounce this here. And this is when we start pulling grossly ahead. We're also ahead in life totals somehow. How are we ahead on life totals? With Yokoban, Wursa will be back. Yeah, but Wursa is perfectly fine, right? Ursa is a perfectly fine deck to have in the format. The Simic Ursa decks are a little bit too much. Also, at least the Ursa decks just kill you quickly, My opponent has a bunch of permanents and this still doesn't have Death Touch. stepped, so we have more mana. 1, 2, 2, 3. I'm gonna play Tracker, play Gemstone, get a clue. I could take Edge before doing anything here. If my opponent wants to settle my prime time, I actually want that to happen. Like a 4-mana Path to Exile that allows me to get a free trigger. It's a great deal for me. We're just a little bit too far ahead for my opponent to be able to come back from this, I think. The neural enchantment plus Grand Extinction seems legit. It could be good. I doubt it's going to be problematic, but it could certainly be good. Okay, opponent takes 6. I guess there's no need for us to do anything. But on my upkeep, I'm going to blow up their Hallowed Fountain. Or in their end step, maybe if they play like one of those wolves, blow that one up. The 5 CMC green dude that triples mana looks ridiculous. Yeah, it's also 7 mana, right? Yeah, Wecht, how you doing? Yeah, I'll see you there. Make sure if you see me, you come over and say hi. The problem is Moxopal silently getting everything banned. I mean Moxopal was perfectly fine before, right? The card became egregious because of Ursa, because of Oko, and because of the fact that food actually feeds it's an artifact. I think if food were let's say that this was a 7. If food were an enchantment, I think that the Ursa deck would not be nearly as powerful as it is. I don't even think that Veil is that absurd. I think that Veil is fine. It's much more brutal in Legacy. This is not a great hand, but I'll keep it. Yep. Oh, but his final sound Papa was in KCI. Exactly. Like KCI is absurd. Like, but most Oblit is perfectly fine in Affinity. As long as there's no like completely egregious combo deck, Moxopol is okay. So I guess we die here. I think we just die. We don't have a blocker for this Glistener Elf. We also can't block that guy. So we're like dead in multiple ways. Oh, Asusa. If only you knew. Yeah, we're just dead here. We're too slow to even explosives. Unbanned Twin. Out of the 2 decks I'm thinking of building, what is the better one you think? Baby Snow Control or Baby Stoneblade? I think that you meant Bant, and I think that Bant Control is very, very good. I think it's better than Stoneblade. Hey, super late scout. We weren't really winning this one, right? Unless my opponent somehow doesn't have it here. And they also somehow... It's just a slow roll from my opponent. In fact, it would have been better if they let this resolve and they use the basic force they get from the Ghost Squatter in order to Vines their Blighted Agent. That would have been much better for them. But well, this is what we have sideboards. Get out, get out, get out, get out, and get out. Yeah, Infect's pretty brutal for us. I mean, okay. Alright, even though we whiffed on a Titan, this allows us to turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Azusa, and transmute, and turn 3 we can play our Titan. So that's why it was correct for us to Once Upon a Time there. It's a Noble Hierarch. Heyo! So I guess now we win on turn 2. Feels good, man. Transmute. Summon Respect for Primeval Titan. Cast Prime Time. Garrison Stronghold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Haste there. Haste over there. Well, I guess actually we cannot go for lethal. Because if my opponent has... Oh wait, never mind. No, we're fine. We can go for lethal because if they block... No, Tech Edge is not good. Like, my opponent very often... You can see last game my opponent killed me with 3 lands in play. Yeah, they're dead. No, I was thinking if they have mutagenic growth, they can... And then I'm like, oh yeah, but if they actually have mutagenic growth, they are paying 2 life, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, they're dead. And this is why we have a turn 2 command. I think I like the Beast Within over the 4th copy of Summoner's Pact. Double Dismember. We don't mulligan a hand with Double Dismember. That's just not a thing that we do here. Get Titan Boy. Indeed. That's no good. This is the matchup where Dismember is at its best. Dismember's great. Once Upon a Time, sounds good. Definitely looking for a scout here. Pog. Now all of a sudden we're much faster. Hey! Look, I have the same one. Back to parity. Well. We're not at parity anymore now. We were at parity for a second there. What I don't understand is why my opponent has Oko in their deck post board. Why do they have Oko in their deck post sideboard? Like, their normal game plan is just so much better against us. It's a scout. So we're going to play scout here. And I guess I'm going to Vesu on my opponent's breeding pool. I'm keeping the... We're going down for one turn on our defenses, but by doing this, even if my scout gets answered now, I can actually cast Titan next turn. Oko is not very good against Amulet, in my experience. They fetch for Dried Arbor. No blocks. Pact. This card should not be in my opponent's deck. I don't know what they cited out for it, but it's not good. Okay, now that card is good. Cards that are good against Amulet. This one. This is a good card against Amulet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Asusa is not bad, actually. Play Asusa. Sombo. 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 Bounce. Go to combat. Swing. Okay, we're trading foods. It's good for me. Texas Ricky, thank you so much for the follow. There we go. Now the follow notifications are back now. When I get my scout, bro, I'm gonna get my scout. So if they have a Vines, I die anyway, right? So I guess that this is correct to do now. Like, it just doesn't matter. I'm just dead to Vines anyway. Yeah. And it wouldn't have mattered. Like, my opponent just drew what they needed to draw. Alright. Just died to that guy. But you see how we died to this card. Like, this card did literally nothing. We died to Blighted Agent like we always do. But we didn't... Like, I don't know why my opponent had that card in their deck. Anyway. Feels bad, man. So we're looking good there. Should probably seal up my deck for GP Austin today. What are you playing, Texas Reese's? Yeah, like if my opponent had not had exactly that if they had not drawn exactly into the spells that they needed in terms of like growing the blighted agent, we would have actually won there because next turn we were able to transmute for explosives and blow up the blighted agent. What is the tech edge for? Because of the blue-green field deck, it's also good against Tron, obviously. It's also really good against Control, obviously. And it combos very well with Azusa and Raminap. So usually whenever we bring in Tech Edge, we also bring in Raminap. Tech Edge also very solid against Valakut, very solid against Eldrasitron. So it has a bunch of different uses. It's been actually super flexible and super powerful. I've liked Tech Edge a lot. All right, so we're gonna play one more league. I'm gonna go get some food, so I'm gonna run a quick commercial for 3 minutes, and I will be right back for one more league. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out the next video in the description below. Bye bye.